got a seconder. Do we have any questions on
Yeah,
this?
just one comment, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
I support the recommendation of the two individuals, Councillor Griffin and Lawyer Seaborn. But it would have been nice to see different people from council, because every time we serve, especially on external committees, every time we serve on an external committee, it gives the councillor an opportunity, or councillors who serve on these committees, a better understanding of the workings of the different organisations of which the city interacts. But I do understand in the letter that was received last week that was presented to council with regard to Councillor Griffin's return to the Deerlick Airport Authority because of the large turnover they've had on that committee, so I do support that. But I just want to bring that comment up.
Sure, yeah, and it is, I mean, it is council's authority to do as it pleases, obviously, but this is, I do understand that they've had some turnover, so. Okay, any other questions or comments? Yes, go ahead.
Just quick, I guess you say they had turnover, not with the councilors that we have.
No, on their board.
Okay,
Yeah,
because.
that's what they said,
Because
yeah.
Councilor Griffin was on it before, and then I know that we had a councilor
Yeah.
4 years before that, so there was never, nobody from the city ever backed out, I don't think, or I can't remember that they did, right?
No, what they're saying is that their board of directors at the
Okay.
airport authority has
Okay.
changed quite a bit,
Yeah,
so that they wanted to have some continuity in their
I
board.
just wanted a bit of clarification on that,
That's right.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
No.
Okay, let's take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, we have a change in our asphalt paving program. Councilor Granter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a balancing change order to cover final quantities as constructed due to the extra patching efforts that was requested by the City of Corner Brook in various parts of the city for a total of $64,180.61, HST included. A detailed breakdown of the balance quantities is attached, but it's available for public viewing. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the contract change order number 1 between the owner, the City of Corner Brook, and the contractor, Marine Contractors Incorporated, for the asphalt paving program 2021 for an increase in contract of $64,180.61, HST included. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Would someone like to second that?
Second.
Thank you. Questions on this item? So, Mr. Burton, I'm assuming this is through the normal work that you guys do, or was this through engineering?
It was, it's through engineering, Mr. Mayor. It was part of the, every year we give engineering an estimate of what we will require for patching for the season. This year we were over the estimate, so hence the change order to adjust the contract.
Gotcha. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Next, we have a discretionary use on 8 Grenfell Drive. Councilor Gill.
Yes. So the City of Corner Brook has received an application from the property owner to construct a service station with a convenience store and car wash on the property located on the corner of Grenfell Drive and Corporal Pinkston Memorial Drive. The lot is located in the Innovation District Zone, where the proposed use service station is considered a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook's development regulations. The convenience store and car wash are considered accessory uses to the main use service station. Be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook and its authority approve the application for the proposed service station at 8 Grenfell Drive, Corner Brook, Newfoundland. So moved.
Thank you. Would someone like to second that?
Second that.
Thank you very much. Questions on this item?
I would, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would just say that this is forward-thinking for the city, given the fact that the long-term care center, the new hospital, Grenfell is growing. I don't think it's a bad idea to have a service station in that area and to service also, of course, the residents of Corner Brook.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just a comment. I noticed an innovation zone. That's in a zone we created a number of years ago before even, I think, the hotel that was supposed to go there was planned. That's all changed now. I'm just wondering, as we're doing the IMSP, if there's any thought being given to perhaps rezoning that whole area where the, I don't know what the name of the building, the Apex building, or whatever that one is. Because we have a union, I think NAPE is there, or There's
Yes,
a
yes.
union office building
Yeah.
there. Now we have a gas station. There were some other amenities that were supposed to go there, and they were always part of that plan.
Yeah.
But the innovation zone was created before the plan, so for that general area. So instead of having, because I really hate discretionary use items, and I'm just wondering if during the IMSP process, was it considered even to rezone that to a commercial or whatever would be more suitable for the area, for that pocket?
Yeah, and I would assume that, yes, they would be reconsidering that, but Mr. Charters?
Yeah, absolutely. We would be reconsidering that to make it fit better with actually what's happening up there, that's for sure. So I will pass along the comments to the consultant.
Okay, because I'm assuming there are other pieces to fit into that development, and we shouldn't have to be approving under discretionary use each time when they're doing what was really planned for the area in the first place, roughly.
Yeah, and I think the innovation zone itself is a real hodgepodge.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Smithville. It's not really a proposed use zone. It's a area.
Yeah.
So agreed.
But I think this
that's-
is large enough that it can be zoned as commercial, or whatever that proper zoning is.
It's starting to get a commercial feel for sure, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions or comments? Yes,
Just
go
a
ahead.
comment. I will be supporting this, but the only thing that bothers me about, well, I guess bother is not the right word. The only thing I'm concerned with is like, if we're getting people coming in off the highway going into the hospital or visiting or whatever like that, if the service station wasn't there, they would have to go downtown and, pick up the businesses down there or see something or go in there to shop. Whereas now, they can get off the highway, go to the hospital, gas up and go on back again without really entering the city. You know where I'm going with
Yeah.
this, that kind of thing? But anyway, they need it there. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I will be supporting this.
Any other questions? Only question I had there was, Mr. Charters, was I guess the traffic around that area. I know in past, we looked at proponents who wanted to develop that land. That was a concern, the proximity on the corner to the intersection?
That's correct.
Was there some information gained on that, or?
In a nutshell, that report said this type of development in this area will not impact the safety or operation of the traffic, so right out to address some safety issues because it is so close to the signalized intersection. So not this particular development has been looked at, but a similar one has been looked at and considered in the study.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Excellent. Thank you. Councillor Griffin, land lease agreement, Regional Recreation Center.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, just for a
Yes.
second before we start. Is Councillor Gill in a conflict on any of this stuff just happening?
You beat me to it. You got your hand up before I did.
Oh,
I'm wondering, and I think we did have that
we
conversation
had
when we
conversation
had our council.
privately,
Yep.
but
In
we
council
never.
and committee, we did determine that I would be in a conflict, and so I will not be voting on the next few items.
Okay, so is that agreeable to everyone, self-declaring a conflict?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
once she self-declares and she's finished, like anything else comes up, then we don't have to go through, are you in a conflict or not?
Well, I guess
So-
It's the next three items, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
and I guess there could be
Future.
some question about whether or not the honorarium would come into that, but better safe than sorry, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
Councillor
happy
Gill?
to sit out on all three, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, we can burn that bridge when we come to it.
All right.
There we go. So the first item, the land lease. Councillor Griffin, if you could
Thank you.
tell us about this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city of Corner Brook has been approved for federal and provincial funding to build a $24.7 million regional recreation center. It is proposed that the facility would be built on the Grenfell campus of Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador. It is proposed to have a 49-year lease between the city and MUN. The annual lease payment would be $1. The lease would cover the existing pool and gymnasium space, along with land required for the building expansion, as well as a facility while it is in operation. The city is responsible for the capital cost of the project with funding from the provincial and federal governments. As a term of the lease agreement, it is expected that full operating agreement between the city and MUN will be put in place within 6 months. This operating agreement will further outline items such as access, parking, student, staff, and faculty fees, daycare access, and operating hours. A signed land lease agreement is required prior to the city entering into the construction contract. Be it resolved, it is resolved to approve the lease agreement between the City of Corner Brook and Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador to facilitate the construction and operation of the Regional Recreation Center, subject to final review by legal and staff. I so move.
Thank you. Someone like to second that? Second, yeah, thank you. Councillor Keeping. Okay, questions on this item?
Mr. Mayor, reading through this earlier, we don't have the final agreement between Memorial and the City of Corner Brook yet, do we? There are sections that are not yet complete. Is that still outstanding?
Yes, yes, some of those are outstanding. However, we have been in contact with the staff at Grenfell, and we're reasonably assured, more than reasonably assured, we're quite confident on both sides that it's just a matter of dotting these i's and crossing the t's, and we should be able to have this agreement within the next few weeks.
It has been approved in principle by the
And it
Board
has
of
been
Regents.
approved in
Yeah.
principle by the Board of Regents.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, Councillor Pender, are you finished?
No, I was just going to ask if it has been approved by the Board of Regents, but, so that has to come as well,
No, that's been approved by the Board of Regents
in principle?
in the form that basically we have. There's some details, it seems, based on this, that the lawyers have to work out. But it's not going back to the Board of Regents again.
So this is now between the administration of Grenfell and the city?
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm not comfortable approving agreements before we have the final agreement. That's my only concern here.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I got a similar thought. Mr. Comey just said that we were only a few weeks away from having a final agreement. And if we are only a few weeks away from final agreement, could we not table this? And once the final agreement comes back for a review of council and staff, then we could bring this back from the table because we would have all of the information on the table at that particular point in time, if it's only going to be a few weeks, as Mr. Comby just stated. I just throw that out there as a question or
Mr. Cummings?
debate around the table.
Thank you, Councillor Granter, for your question. We cannot sign any contract anyway going forward. The RFD says that we have to have this finalized before we can sign any final lease agreement with Grenfell. It is important that we get this done as soon as possible. 3 weeks puts us past Christmas and quite conceivably into the middle of January. We're trying to, our contractor, our design build contractor, Pomerol, is, anxious and is holding their prices for us. They need to hear that, we're serious and we're moving forward. That is my opinion.
Is there any, I guess the question would be, what are the nature of changes that would be left on this lease agreement?
There's some agreement there, and I'll ask my colleague Dale to elaborate on some of the details. He's been involved with dealing with this hands-on. Some of them are ones about, the amount of time that Grenfell would have for the gym, and the amount of time that we would have, and these are some of the things that, and some parking. Dale, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, we've started with a fairly long list of items that we were discussing both from an operating side and from the land lease side. I'm going to say about 30 items. We've essentially whittled that down to 1 or 2 small items. One of the challenges at Memorial right now is that their senior legal manager or director, I'm not sure, vice president, I'm not sure his exact title, but he's actually recently left the organization. So there's a little bit of a a little bit of a delay while with the external lawyer that they're hired is getting back to us with responses. But in conversation with representatives at Grenfell campus today, there doesn't appear to be anything that's in this agreement that we're not able to come to essentially an agreement based on this very close to this wording, if not this wording at all.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
guess it's always a bit sketchy signing something that we haven't seen, like I said, like somebody just mentioned with the I's dotted and the T's crossed. I looked at what was written here, that it is still subject to final legal review. And that can change the water on the beads quite fast in lots of cases, especially when you're dealing with big projects like this. So I don't know what, we're not 100% clear on what we're actually.
What,
Yeah.
just wondering, like, what was in the agreement that you had concerns about?
Well, we don't know until we get it back.
No, but in this draft, like Dale said, we're, you know, I guess in principle, the Board of Regents was comfortable with what was in there from a content perspective. I guess from I guess is there particular elements of the agreement that you saw that would be troublesome, or?
Not really. I would like to see the final copy of it signed, sealed, and ready for us to vote on.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'll just make one final comment based on Mr. Park's commentary. Whittled down from 30 to 1 or 2 small items. So if it's only 1 or 2 small items, and after listening to Mr. Cumby saying that we're only a few weeks away from being able to get this final document through the legal team at Grenfell Memorial, one of the items, according to Mr. Park, was the amount of gym time available to students and staff, I guess, I suspect, at Grenfell, compared to the amount of gym time or availability usage for the remainder of residents of the city and regionally.
Actually-
And to me, that would be
I'm gonna stop you there. That was an error. That's an error.
Oh, that's an error?
He misspoke there. That's in the operating agreement?
Operating lease stuff.
okay, so that's an error.
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
screwed up my face there. 'Cause-
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But just one more comment, if I may. This is subject to a final legal review and staff review. So if it comes back substantially different than what it's written, you know, here now, we have to, we're not going to go forward with it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, 2 weeks ago, we discussed this in a briefing session or whatever it was, and at that time, we only had a couple of items. So are these the same items, or have we made any headway in the last 2 weeks, or are these the same ones?
In the last couple of weeks, we've made, Dale can talk to a little more about the headway we've made.
Yeah, I'll be honest, this has been going on as long as it has. I can't exactly remember when we had our last changes. I believe at that point, we were still waiting for their review from Memorial University and their representatives. While we don't have a formal written response, we do have verbal communication from them that basically we seem to have resolved all the outstanding items. But I believe they are meeting on that later this week and hoping to finalize.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to understand the nature of the concern here. We were slated to have this done legally back in July, I believe. It's taken quite a bit of time, not on our end, but through, I guess, issues between the province and MUN's legal team as well, approaching to the lease. The substance of the lease, again, what's approved at council has to be honored. I can't see us, if there were substantial changes outside of legalese, I don't see how that would be a valid, that would not be a proper conduct, I don't think, to not bring it before council. So am I right to assume, Mr. Cumby, that you're comfortable with the nature of this agreement?
I am,
Yeah?
yeah, very much so.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with the progress that we've made. Unfortunately, that you know, we're dealing with a large organization, and sometimes it's hard to, they're not quite as nimble as us, and they have, you know, their main lawyer is retired, and, you know, so we're able to turn stuff around on our end very quickly, but it takes a little bit longer when it goes to them. But all indications are that there's, you know, from all the verbal conversations that we had, that there's no major issues with this.
Now, once, I guess, this is approved, my understanding, it has to go to the minister for approval from Mun's part?
It does have to go to the minister, is my understanding as well.
Yeah. So time is a factor here, right?
From the city's perspective, I don't want to speak for MUN and their priorities, I guess, but from the city's perspective, every time we've gotten a response back on this or an inquiry on it, we've made it a top priority to get a response back in as timely a manner as we possibly can. Obviously, Memorial University has a number of priorities, a number of projects that are ongoing, so they aren't always necessarily as quickly able to respond to them. So this is part of the reason why we were hoping that, you know, once we get the response from Memorial later this week, that we would be in a position to be able to proceed with this.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, just a comment, so this is a step to get to the next step. In order to get to the second step, that's basically what we're doing here. We're not approving it in whole kind of thing. This is just a step in along the way, or how does, this is not final approval, I guess is what I'm asking.
No, this won't be final approval, no.
Sorry?
No,
Okay.
because we had to
Yeah.
do a full legal review and staff review before but just as the RFD says.
What we have to accomplish, I guess, next is we have to be able to have a land lease in place that has to be signed, and also, like I mentioned, it has to be approved by the minister. It doesn't go back to the Board of Regents again. Then we have to sign a contract with the proponent and do that to be able to guarantee pricing, which we're on a timeline for.
Now, what I'm getting at, if we vote in favor of this tonight, then when everything further down the road, it'll come back for final approval?
Not to council.
Yes, you know, it will come back again.
Yeah, so,
As far as, you know.
Won't come back to council again.
No, but it'll come back to the legal review.
yes,
And if we're comfortable that it hasn't changed substantially, and our lawyers are comfortable,
Yeah.
then we would move forward with it. But what we're looking for now, mainly, is a level of comfort. What we need to do is, you know, ask, is to have our prices down so our contract prices don't go up. We're in a COVID world, and the quicker we can get these things settled. And we hear it on the news all the time about the prices of commodities and how different items that people can't get. That the quicker that we can, you know, move this forward. And any other time, I would say, you know, maybe it will be different. But right now, we need to move this forward. And I said I'm totally comfortable because I have to see it again. Dale and Darren have to see it again, and our lawyers have to see it again.
Right.
And if it is any substantially different, I would have an obligation to bring it back to council. But, you know,
Okay.
any material differences.
Mr. Mayor, my experience has been we don't sign anything until we have the full details, so I will not be supporting the motion. I would agree to table it if it's only gonna be another week, and quite prepared to come back in a week's time and do it again if we have to, if it's ready. But then we're into Christmas, so if it's not ready then, it's definitely gonna be after Christmas.
What's the nature of the price escalation so far, Mr. Charters?
Pardon me?
What's the nature of the price escalation on this contract?
Materials alone, the loss of contractors, we're originally talking about $970,000.
Right. And how long is your pricing guaranteed for?
January 15th.
Okay. Does anyone have any material concerns with the actual contract, the lease itself?
Mr. Mayor, it's just simply voting on something that you don't have a final agreement on. And then when you look at the other two items that are coming up, 7.2 and 7.3, if you vote in favor of this, you'll have to vote in favor of the other two, I suspect. And not having the full details, even though they're only minor, and if they're only minor, and we only have week and a half so before Christmas. As Councillor Painter just said, we could bring everyone back together, one night this week, or early night, one night next week, if the final details are all there. I can't support it either without having a final land lease agreement, all those 30 points, and the other two or three that are outstanding. And when they get brought back, then the document can be presented to council at a public meeting, such that the public is also aware of what we've signed and what we've agreed to. Because if it don't come back, I guess technically it still is a public document. I guess public could see it, but on the floor of this chamber, then the public get a chance to at least hear a debate on it.
Just on that point, Mr. Mayor, in our notes, it says that the following lease will be withheld from public disclosure at this time, so this document is not yet public.
That's right.
Currently not in public.
Because it deals with legal, right?
Yeah, well, it's not finished yet.
That's right.
Mr. Mayor, one final comment from me. I get where everybody's coming from when you're talking this, and you're afraid to sign something unless you see all the thing. But I mean, we gotta have a sense of trust around this table. We have people that we go to for advice and to line up. They're the ones that are in the trenches, they're the ones that are doing all the work, and they come back with recommendations. Now, if we don't listen to the recommendation, and we have to do everything ourselves, to me, what I see that what's happening, or what possibly that can happen, I mean, we're talking about, we have a doctor shortage here, we have this shortage here, we have this. In order for our city to improve and to get bigger, we need structures like this. We need aquatic centers, because half the time, I'm willing to bet, we get a doctor or a professor, whatever, comes in here and he loves the place, he loves the job, but there's nothing for his wife and kids to do. Right? Now, that's what I see this. I don't have any issue with taking a chance on this one to just go to the next step. That's what we're voted in to do. That's our job here. Make a decision. We just, oh no, we'll go one more week. Let's go one more week. What are we going to get out of that 1 week? Really?
What you would get, Mr. Mayor, would be a
excuse me?
What you asked a question. So
Yeah, but I was talking to the
sorry.
chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but what I'm saying is that I understand that. I understand that. But we got to think of the risk that we're taking here. We need this aquatic center. We don't know how long that the arts and culture pool is going to be. Because I'm thinking as soon as that one's open, that one's gone. Now this is a plus for our city. We need this, right? So if there ever was a time when we trust our brains or our professional people, then this is it. If we're not going to trust them, I don't know why the hell we have them.
Yeah.
Why are they here for?
Mr. Mayor, in all due respect, no one has mentioned anything around this table tonight with regard to trust or the brains of the great members of staff that we have that work on behalf of the city residents. All I'm asking is for a full and final document to come back so that we could vote on it. And to Councillor Griffin's points, very valid points, there's not one person sitting around this table, and I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself, that don't want and don't see a recreation center as being very, very important, because we all do. And to your point with regard to doctors and others coming to the city and looking for what activities are available, what facilities are available, that is so true, because I experienced it when I was an educator, when doctors would come and ask me as a principal, well, what does the city have to offer before I make up my mind if I'm going to come to the city and bring my family here. And you're absolutely right. We are so close to having an agreement on a land lease agreement, very articulated around the table this evening, one or two small items. Grenville's, MUN's responsibility is to have their legal team finalize and agree to those 2 points, or negotiate those last 2 points and bring it forth. We've done our work. Our staff has done their work. It's now Grenville, and it's unfortunate that some of the legal team has moved on, because that's what I understood this evening. So it's their responsibility to bring their team together and put in place the agreement, the last 2 points, knock them off, sit down at the table 12 hours, 14, 16, next 48 hours, put the team together, get it done, get it back to council so we can vote in favor of it and move this project forward. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I have not received one question on the contents of this lease Staff, have you received any comments or questions from council on this lease? On the material nature of the lease, like the various parts of it? Okay, well, again, we are employing our lawyer to review this document. We haven't, no one's expressed any concerns about any part of the document. We've been told by staff that this is materially the agreement. This is the agreement, outside of some legalese.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, 2 points that were brought up earlier tonight. One was the amount of gym time available to...
It's not relevant. It's in the operating agreement. That was an error.
Correct. My apologies.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I'll just jump in and say that the purpose of our meeting is to ask questions, get information that we don't have, so I'm not gonna do that in emails or anything else. This is a public meeting, this is what's supposed to be discussed. So to your point about, has anybody contacted staff, we did have a presentation last week. All this wasn't together at that time, or 2 weeks ago, sorry, we were told that, you know, a couple items that should be done in a couple weeks, so I just fully anticipated that this would be finalized this evening, that the agreement would be in front of us. I don't think anybody here does not want to see the thing go ahead. I think we all do, but my personal preference is to have the full document in front of me. I've had experience with this in the past, and I'm not prepared to sign anything that's not 100% complete, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I guess I didn't ask any questions to the staff, and I'll just go back and say that, you know, it's been our motto, I guess, and the desire of, I guess, the mayor, you the mayor, that we do everything in public. So if we're going to be sending out emails and we're getting all kinds of answers back, emails don't cut it. Asking the question straight up, face-to-face cuts it.
Ask questions, please. Fill your
Well, I
boots.
think the questions are being asked, Mr. Mayor.
No, I haven't heard a question about this lease yet.
Well, I'll ask one now to Mr. Mayor. Since I was in error and actually it was brought up and then I questioned it with regard to the gym time, so let's forget that one. What are the two, if we can say publicly, what are the one or two outstanding small items that need to be negotiated with Grenfell Munn before this is brought back to council? What are the two items?
Mr. Park?
They are highlighted in red in the attachment that's there. That's what's highlighted in red was the previous wording that's crossed out, and then what's in there in red is the revised wording there. So it's very, very simple wording. One is on the operating agreement that we would have that operating agreement agreed to within 6 months of the signing of this contract or this agreement, which would include the gym time as been mentioned. There is one clause there in regards to the memorial has already reviewed the design documents and are in agreement with those documents rather than having to go back for further approval. And since their Board of Regents has already approved that in concept, then that we felt that was fairly reasonable. Very minor wording changes in regards to the parking area. In regards to the loss payable in case of an insurance loss or a loss to the building, what would happen to the insurance proceeds and what had to be rebuilt in that space if that were to happen at any time. And I believe the last item that might be there might actually just be the notice clause in regards to what address the memorial wanted to use for the notice.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, and besides the ones that, so the red is our changes or it's their changes?
That's the latest changes so what's crossed out is what wording was there on their last version, and what's replaced with the new wording in red is our revised wording.
And then, Mr. Mayor, in addition to that, there are 4 items on the top of the page, sections that need to be reviewed, 28, 29, 34, and 30, in addition to those that you just mentioned.
What page?
Just right on top of the document, Mr. Mayor, it says the following lease will be withheld from public disclosure at this time. Sections 28.1, 29.1, 34.1, and 30, as is still subject to final legal review, so those additional,
No, that's
That's for
the
public
legislation, the ATIP legislation.
Okay, just one.
reasons
Yeah,
why
not-
it's
Not to
withheld at
council,
this point.
just to the public.
Okay, and in the agreement between the ground lease it's highlighted, between Memorial University and City of Corner Brook, says the landlord, note, subject to transfer of land from the province, so I understood verbally that part, but has it been in writing, and do we have that transfer of land?
That transfer has taken place last week.
Oh.
There's no showstopper here, really.
No, these are all good questions. These are good questions. Any other questions? No? Okay. Okay, let's vote. All those in favor of authorizing staff to review this lease and get it approved, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Counterminded?
Nay?
Nay.
I got my tongue chewed right off.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Brutal.
Keep on chewing, you're not allowed to say anything.
Uh,
Yeah, keep on going, yes.
Point
Question?
forward, not allowed to be talking about it.
What?
Councillor Gill.
I'm not talking about, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about behavior, that's all.
Mr. Mayor,
Not
I believe we do have a
topic.
code of conduct, we all have the right to our opinion, and we should
Absolutely.
have our opinions respected, whether we agree with them or not.
Absolutely.
I respect your opinion, Charles.
Okay,
I apologize
order.
profusely.
Please address the chair, thank you. Okay, next item, Regional Recreation Center, Councillor Griffin.
Is this a waste of time too, or will I go ahead and?
No, it's not at all.
Okay, 3 B teams took part in the invited request for proposal process earlier in the year. Each proposal was evaluated and scored by the procurement committee on a technical basis, then on a financial basis. Council approved a resolution for staff to begin negotiations with Parmelo, who is the highest scoring DB team, on June 28, 2021. Since then, staff and owner advisor SNC have been working with the proponent to clarify items from the RFP and to come to an agreement on a design-build contract. At the same time, staff have been working on a lease agreement with Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador for the building and land that currently houses the decommissioned pool and gymnasium of the Granville campus, where the new facility will be constructed. The MUN Board of Regents approved the lease in principle on December 2nd, 2021. This lease is expected to be finalized in the next 2 weeks. As a result of delays during the land transfer process from the province of Newfoundland Labrador to MUN, and having the lease approved by the MUN Board of Regents, there have been cost increases with respect to materials and some subcontractors for the project. Building material, steel flooring, doors, etc., for projects around the world have experienced unprecedented increases due to supply shortages and supply chain issues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, the original financial submission by the DB team has been increased to cover the increased cost of materials and subcontracts. The latest project pricing is to be confirmed by external parties to ensure that only reasonable price increases are accepted. Be proposed that the Council of the City of Corner Brook award the design-build project for the Corner Brook Regional Recreational Center to Parmelo Inc., and to authorize staff to finalize and execute the design-build contract up to a maximum initial cost of $293,000, I'm sorry, I should know that, HSC included, subject to the successful execution of land lease with Memorial University of Newfoundland. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this item?
Mr. Mayor, yeah, one question. So the in the proposed resolution, the last sentence, it says, subject to the successful execution of a land lease with Memorial University of Newfoundland. And that's the land lease that we just spent the last half an hour discussing, correct?
That's correct.
Right. So without that land lease, if we approve this contract, and they were the lowest bid, and they've gone through the process, without the land lease, the contract becomes null and void. It won't be implemented,
Well, we can't sign we can't sign the contract until we
Without
have
the
the
lease.
lease.
So, and it also says in that document, the latest project price, the lease is expected to be finalized in the next 2 weeks.
That's right.
And the date of this document is December the 13th, 2021. So in all calculations, that lease, with the 1 or 2 points that we discussed earlier, should be done either prior to Christmas or shortly thereafter.
Assuming we can get a minister to sign it.
I'm just reading what
Yep,
was presented to us tonight, Mr. Mayor.
yep.
So I don't have any problem with the contract. If they're a successful bidder, they'll get awarded the contract if there's a final lease signed with Memorial and the city, final land transfer.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
So just to be clear, Mr. Mayor, if we award this contract, it can't actually be awarded to Pomerleau or Son until the land lease is
We
complete.
can't sign the contract until we have the lease in place, that's right.
Okay.
And that was that's the same regardless.
Yep.
It's just a matter of trying to facilitate this transaction through council, MUNS, and the minister's schedules.
Okay with it.
Any other questions?
My only issue, again, Mr. Mayor, is I'm just not comfortable signing things that are not fully wrapped up.
Right,
So this is subject to.
that's right.
I'm just not comfortable.
But
with
nothing
that.
would.
I fully support this
yeah.
project. I have no problem.
Nothing would change, I guess, in terms of the contract. It just can't be executed unless we sign a lease, right?
Correct.
So in terms of like the debate on the contract, nothing would change here. Right?
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, you were done?
Yep, yep.
Oh, just another question. I heard earlier that we have prices locked in until January 15th. So if
Is
the
that-
lease is not done and this is not signed by January 15th, then it can change. Okay.
Yep, that's correct. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Let's take it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Counterminded? Carried. Okay. Next, the honorarium. And I don't know if we should go ahead with this or not, pending, well, typically, I guess, for the benefit of everyone, this wouldn't be paid out unless we have a signed contract or an agreement to sign a contract. But I don't know, Mr. Cumby, if you have any advice on that? Should we,
Typically, again, they wouldn't, as you said, they wouldn't be paid out until we got a finalized contract.
right,
'Cause, you know,
so should we, I mean, again, it's subject to us being able to sign a contract, because if we want to negotiate with one of the other parties, because this contract doesn't work out
yeah,
because of pricing,
that's exactly right.
right? So, Mr. Charters, I know you've been dealing on this file, I don't know what your advice here is.
I feel very confident we are going to come to a contract
Right.
with Pomerleau. We are getting to the point now where the other proponents are asking about their honorarium, so that's why you see it tonight. We would like to get this approved, so on signing of that contract, we can get this out the door. That's the intent here.
Okay. Maybe, Deputy, you could introduce the item for us.
Mr. Mayor, I would suggest that can we table it until we get the contract and we just do it all at one time?
To do the,
The lease.
to do the lease, yeah.
Do the lease and the
It would just
contract
make
all
more
at once.
sense to me.
Yep, Mr. Charters, thoughts on that?
I'm fine with council's wishes. I was hoping to have it approved, so we would have it all ready to go and be able to get it at the door quickly, but
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
yes, you
They
can.
can't be paid out until the contract is signed with Pomerleau,
Mhm.
right? So,
No, they could be paid out any time, but it's a matter of whether or not we think we're gonna have to negotiate with them. So we wouldn't pay them out if we thought we were gonna go back to the
negotiate with
table
them, so
with
which
them, right?
comes first, chicken or the egg, right?
Right, yeah. So the only benefit is, I guess, is that obviously this is taking longer to negotiate a contract than we wanted, and these two bidders have waited longer than expected to get paid their honorarium, right?
And I guess looking at that, we have waited a long time too to try to get the lease signed, so
That's right,
everybody's waiting, it's a waiting game.
that's right. Okay? Okay, well, let's,
So we'll table that
would
one.
someone like, again, someone want to, I wouldn't table it again.
Just-
Table is the incorrect
Okay,
thing for this. Table is when you do it at a meeting for other business. Let's postpone it to a date with our, and we'll address it at the, when we address the lease issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that amenable? Okay, so we don't need a motion there. I think we can just do that.
There's a motion on the table, isn't it?
There's no motion yet on
No, it
that.
wasn't.
It wasn't introduced.
Did you second it?
No, this is, we're talking about the
well,
honorarium.
that's,
Okay, no, that's fine. We'll do that. Okay. To the business at hand.
Thank you, Mr.
We
Mayor.
have a budget to present.
I guess I'm going over there. Mr.
Come
Mayor.
on over, yes,
I'll take my water.
and put on a mic.
Have the mic. Sure.
Oh, you got it, do you? Good.
Sure, speak it. Should we do a straight commercial first? I assume that's on.
Ryan will monitor that, I guess.
Good. Okay, let me know, Ryan. Yes, I can hear me.
There you go.
Good. Yep. Good to go? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of council, I'm pleased to present the 2022 Corner Brook Municipal Budget. A budget is always a major undertaking, and more so in the first year of a council's mandate. Since the election less than 3 months ago, council has undergone an orientation on the city's operations and a review of the city's finances. During the election campaign, members of council heard from residents, businesses, user groups, and community partners. Each member of council brings their own priorities and thoughts on the direction they believe the city should take. Budget 2022 has been the product of much hard work by city staff and consensus at the council table. Consensus and cooperation is key to council formulating a direction for the city for 2022 and beyond. Mr. Mayor, in last year's budget, the city stated that 2020 was a year like no other. While that is certainly the case, 2021 has also been an extremely challenging year. The impacts of COVID-19 have continued throughout this year, and the city has been required to adapt and adjust. As an organization, the City of Corner Brook has been required to be more flexible to change, from customer service to IT, to permitting, to civic center and recreation. All departments have responded to the changing needs and requirements in unprecedented times, while maintaining all required safety standards. This responsiveness to change is only able to be achieved due to our employees' dedication and efforts. On behalf of council, I will take this opportunity to once again thank all of our employees for their efforts, not only in 2021, but for all their efforts that we know will come in 2022 as well. Without our staff, nothing that council plans to do can be accomplished. In the 2021 budget, the city made a number of key decisions to reduce operating expenses to ensure that the city was not going to have a deficit. Additional operating costs combined with reduced revenues required strategic and decisive action. These actions were taken to have the least impact on our residents' safety and quality of life. Based on current projections, I am pleased to report that the City of Corner Brook is not predicting a deficit for 2021. Turning to the economy, Mr. Mayor, while the province as a whole has experienced some economic setbacks in 2020 and 2021, the city continues to grow. Not only is the City of Corner Brook undertaking significant projects, the provincial government, community partners, and the private sector are continuing to invest heavily in Corner Brook and our region. There are many initiatives from 2021 that we need to highlight, starting with tourism. This council has identified tourism as an area of our economy where the city can play a major role in economic development. The city initiated a project with our regional partners to establish a strategy to increase our tourism assets, while with the intention of leading to greater economic benefits for the city and the region. While COVID-19 has slowed some of these initiatives, a lot of planning and preparation is continuing to take place. Some of the highlights from 2021 include financial assistance towards the establishment of the Bay of Islands as a UNESCO Global Geopark, installation of the wildly popular Corner Brook sign on the White House lawn, commissioning of the Crow Gulch mural by renowned Indigenous artists Marcus Goss and Jordan Bennett, and continued investment in our ATV, snowmobiling, and biking trails. 2022 will be another exciting year. With COVID-19 having less of an impact on travel and tourism, we once again expect visitors from far and wide to visit our region. Cruise ships are once again expected to visit our now bustling port. There are currently 22 cruise ship visits expected this summer, and improvements to the cruise ship corridor from the port to our downtown will be made. Our downtown summer festival celebrating ATVs, mountain biking, and music, Jigs and Wheels, is once again being planned. We will begin the $1.7 million Great Trail project, connecting the downtown of the western boundary of the city for walking and cycling. We'll continue to work through the priorities outlined in the STAR process, including branding, wayfinding, improvements, and trail development. To that end, Mr. Mayor, in 2021, the business tax rate for businesses in the tourism and hospitality sector were reduced by 10%. I am pleased to announce the city will continue with the reduced business tax rates for approximately 100 businesses in the tourism and hospitality sector in 2022. This is where I take a drink and you all slam your desk. No? All right. Tourism is returning to Western Newfoundland and we will be ready. Council understands that continued support measures and are warranted for the coming year to help our tourism sector come back strong in 2022. Mr. Mayor, Corner Brook is proud to be a college city. As you heard earlier this evening, we're about to embark on the construction of our new Regional Aquatic Center on Grenfell campus of Memorial University. This exciting new asset for our community would not be possible without our partnership with Grenfell. Not only are they contributing the land and building for this endeavor, their students, faculty, and staff will ensure a solid base of users to keep the center sustainable. Our partnership with Corner Brook Pulp and Paper, College of the North Atlantic, and Grenfell on the Innovation Center project is really taking shape. The center is set to open this spring and will be a center of activity. Support training at the mill, research and development activities for the forestry sector, entrepreneurship opportunities, and the educational partnership with the city known as City Studio. As a modern municipality, the city of Corner Brook has a duty to do more than just maintain infrastructure. And given our demographic realities, we have to do it with an almost fixed tax base. Turning to our IMSP update. In 2021, the city began the process of undertaking a major update of the city's Integrated Municipal Sustainability Plan, the IMSP, and development regulations. The IMSP was first developed in 2012 and has been modified numerous times to reflect our evolving needs. It is expected that in the first half of 2022, a revised IMSP will be presented to Council for approval. The IMSP will focus on the best practices for dealing with some of the city's key challenges of climate change, urban sprawl, and housing choices, aging infrastructure, and demographic and economic uncertainty. This plan will allow residents, developers, businesses, and staff to have a common understanding of the objectives and priorities of the city from a development perspective for the next 10 years. Turning to health and wellness. Mr. Mayor, our city is here for our people. We should be able to enjoy a safe environment to raise children, pursue our interests, and lead long, healthy lives. Investments in recreation infrastructure are an important piece of making our city a happy, healthy home. As COVID-19 has taught us, the need for a variety of outdoor recreation options is essential to a healthy and vibrant community. In 2021, the city and the Corner Brook Baseball Association were proud to have officially opened the new Jubilee Field Clubhouse. The clubhouse and scorer's booth are a proper complement to the jewel of the city that is Jubilee Field. Also in 2021, the city, with the assistance of Corner Brook Stream Development Corporation, completed a major rejuvenation of the J.J. Curling Playground. The new, modern, and accessible features include accessible parking, accessible spinner and surfacing, accessible picnic table, and a new seating area. These improvements will be a template for future improvements we will make at our play areas to ensure that they are accessible to all that may wish to enjoy them. In 2021, the city completed the construction of a multi-use court at the Wellington Street Recreation Complex, which is now called,
The complex is still the complex.
is still the complex?
Yeah,
Just the
Doug
soccer
Sweet-
field,
Doug
is Doug
Sweet
Sweet
Apple
Apple,
Field.
okay. I just want to make sure I didn't make a mistake, Mr. Mayor, thank you. In the summertime, the court will be able to be used for basketball, and during the winter, it is expected to be used as an outdoor rink. The Regional Recreation Center, Mr. Mayor, the city received funding for the Corner Brook Regional Recreation Center in June of 2020. Since that time, the city has issued an RFP for an owner's advisor, issued an RFP for design-build teams, selected a preferred proponent to design and build the facility, all while negotiating and discussing the operation of the facility with Grenfell Campus. While there has not been any construction on site yet, all of this preliminary work is almost complete, and we expect construction of the new facility to start in early 2022. This will be a regional community center with input and cooperation from our municipal neighbors in Massey Drive, Steady Brook, and Mount Moriah. Mr. Mayor, ensuring all of our residents have access to the many services and opportunities that our city provides is important. It is critical that accessibility improvements be at the front of our thoughts in everything we do. The city has created an accessibility and inclusiveness committee that includes members of council, staff, and the community. This committee is bringing greater awareness of the many small and large things that can be done to improve accessibility. The city will continue to make steady progress on addressing accessibility issues. In some cases, the change is not large, but the impact can be significant. Mr. Mayor, in the last number of years, our city has made great strides towards building bridges with the Mi'kmaq people in our area. We were, and we are, an Indigenous community. It is important to recognize our heritage and educate our citizens so that we can foster a strong relationship into the future. We have partnered with Halapu First Nation on important projects like the McWhittam Garden and the upcoming Prentice Park renovations. We've made unprecedented investment in public art to commemorate Crow Gulch through the work of Indigenous artists Marcus Goss and Jordan Bennett. We've made a permanent home for the Mi'kmaq Grand Council flag in the heart of City Hall. Turning towards balanced and fair taxation. 2022 and going forward, every year will be a reassessment year. The Municipal Assessment Agency will conduct annual assessments of properties. The assessment of valuation is used by the city and all municipalities to determine the tax rates that are required to generate the revenues required to operate the city. Annual reassessments will generally mean that there will be lower changes in assessed value than previously with a 3-year assessment cycle, but it will now require a more thorough review of the assessment changes and the impacts on taxation levels. In 2020 and 2021, many commercial businesses had struggles as they adapted to overcome the effects of the pandemic. These challenges are reflected in the assessed values of commercial properties. Overall, commercial properties values decreased by almost 4.0%. In order to adjust for this change, the commercial property mill rate is increasing from 12.5 mils to 13.0 mils. The impact of this adjustment is only to offset the lower revenues due to the lower assessed value, and there are not any increased revenues projected for 2022 from the 2021 budgeted amount for this group of properties. Mr. Mayor, as there has been a decrease in the assessments for commercial properties, there has also been a similar decrease in the business tax assessments. Without any adjustment to the business tax mill rates, the city would have been facing a $277,600 or a 5% decrease in business tax revenues. The city recognizes the value of our business community and understands that many business sectors have been struggling over the past 2 years. In the 2021 budget, Council initiated a 10% decrease in the business tax for the hospitality sector. This reduced mill rate of 15 mils will continue in 2022. Additionally, the city is freezing the mill rate on an additional 561 businesses in a wide range of business sectors. Mr. Mayor, there are approximately 150 businesses in classifications that Council felt were not as negatively impacted over the past 2 years and have an ability to pay that are higher than the general business community. In 2022, there will be adjustments to 6 business class categories to offset the lower assessment values. The adjustment in mill rates are not creating incremental tax dollars from 2021 level, but just maintaining the city's tax revenues for 2022. Changes in the mill rate are as follows. For grocery stores, the mill rate for 2021 was 25 mills. It is proposed to increase that to 27 mills, an increase of 2 mills. There are 8 businesses in that category. Professional operations, 2021, the mill rate was 30.0 mills. It is proposed to increase that to 31.5 mills, an increase of 1.5 mills. That affects 126 businesses. In the large retail category, the mill rate for 2021 was 40 mills. The proposal is to raise it to 44 mills, an increase of 4 mills. That affects 3 businesses. Department stores are at 50 mills in 2021. It's proposed to move that to 54 mills, an increase of 4 mills, and that would affect 4 businesses. Oil companies are currently at 60 mills. It's proposed to move them to 66 mills, an increase of 6 mills, and that would affect 7 businesses. And finally, in the last category, banks are at 100 mills in 2021. For 2022, it's proposed to move them to 108 mills, an increase of 8 mills, and that would affect 10 businesses. Now, Mr. Mayor, even with the increases in the mill rate in the above classifications, business tax revenue for 2022 is still budgeted to be almost $90,000 or 1.6% lower than in the 2021 budget. The city recognizes our residents have also been impacted by COVID-19, as well as the economic challenges faced by our region and province. With this in mind, Mr. Mayor, I am proud to announce that there will not be any change in the residential property tax mill rate. Now, Mr. Mayor, the city opened a new water treatment plant. We keep saying new, but it's been open for a while, providing clean and safe water to Corner Brook, Massey Drive, and Mount Moriah in 2015. At that time, the cost to operate the water treatment plant was $1,156,800 annually. This amount has since increased to $1,542,500, which is $385,700 or a 33% increase. Since this time, there has not been any change in the water and sewer unit charge. For 2022, there will be an increase of $25 per commercial and residential unit charge. This increase will provide $257,000 in incremental revenues that will only partially cover the increased costs of the water treatment plant since 2015. Once again, the downtown business improvement area levy will be set at 0 to give businesses in our city center a better opportunity to grow as we invest in our downtown. Now, turning to infrastructure and capital investment. With the hundreds of kilometers of roads, water lines, and sewer, recreational facilities, water treatment facilities, fire protection facilities, and parks, paths, and playgrounds, the city requires consistent capital investment. The lack of adequate federal and provincial funding mechanisms remains the biggest hurdle as we strive to tackle wastewater treatment. The city will have over $13 million in reserve for our portion of the capital costs once federal and provincial funding becomes available. We have evaluated many different options and scenarios, and none of them are cheap. Can be expected the capital cost for a wastewater treatment facility will be in the $90 million range. We cannot do this on our own and must receive federal and provincial funding in order to proceed. Mr. Mayor, while the announcement of the multi-year capital works funding for 2020-2023 was delayed in 2020, we are thankful to the province for the announcement of the provincial funding in 2021 to support $8.25 million in capital projects. The majority of this funding will be utilized in the 2022 calendar year. Projects include Johnson's Avenue Storm Sewer, street resurfacing, traffic intersection improvements, Blackwood Hill Culvert and Bridge replacement, Bellsbrook Culvert replacement, and Citadel Drive PRV upgrades. Engineering work on all these projects has already started with a target of having these projects tendered early in the first quarter of 2022. The city also is looking forward to a positive announcement on a major capital project for an $8 million upgrade to the storm and sanitary system on Mount Bernard Avenue. Mr. Mayor, in addition to these projects, the city has also submitted another $16.3 million in projects to our federal and provincial partners for additional capital work in 2022, 23, and 24. We look forward to a favorable response to all of these applications. Mr. Mayor, the city of Corner Brook showed in 2020 that we have the ability to adapt and adjust as required. The budget for 2021 reflected a major reduction in spending from the lessons that were learned in 2020. While the city was able to make some short-term spending cuts, long-term cuts in spending will have a tremendous negative impact on the service level we provide to our residents, as well as on the lifespan of our assets. It's far more cost-effective to maintain our assets than it is to replace our infrastructure. As is required by the City of Corner Brook Act, the 2022 budget is a balanced budget of $35,558,100. The budget for 2022 is $137,500, or just 0.39% higher than the 2021 budget and $1 million lower than the 2020 budget. Now, part of that budget, Mr. Mayor, as you know, includes debt servicing. The city's debt servicing is a major annual cost to the city. Debt financing is incurred by the city on capital projects in order to manage the cash flow of the city. While the city receives funding for the majority of its capital costs, the funding is never enough to fully cover the cost of the projects. Typical funding assistance represents anywhere from 50 to 75% of the total budgeted costs. Debt payments required by the city for its share of capital projects is budgeted to decrease by $894,100 to $3,281,600 in 2022. This represents only 8.85% of our annual expenditures being required to pay our existing debt. This is the lowest debt percentage in recent memory. While the 2022 debt payments are reduced, it is expected that debt payments in 2023 and 2024 will increase as significantly more investment is made in capital projects in 2022 and 2023, including the much anticipated Regional Recreation Center. By 2024, debt payments are expected to increase by $1.15 million, or about 35%. The total debt at the end of 2021 is projected to be $7.5 million, and by the end of 2022 is expected to increase by $2.6 million to $10,100,000. So in conclusion, Mr. Mayor, see if I can get through this. This budget is the beginning of the new council laying out a plan and strategy for the next 4 years. The areas of focus in this budget of tourism growth, accessibility, improved recreation and cultural opportunities, combined with sound financial management, will lead us throughout this council's mandate. While there will be adjustments along the way, these key areas are expected to be at the forefront of our thoughts in the decision-making process. On behalf of all of council, I again thank everyone for their valuable contribution to the budget process. As required by legislation and sound long-term financial planning, our budget today is a balanced budget. So, Mr. Mayor, I would now like to make the following 4 motions. I'll do them one at a time in order. Okay. Be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook, in accordance with the City of Corner Brook Act, approve the attached tax rates for the 2022 taxation year. I so move.
Okay, thank you. Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
Okay. Be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook, in accordance with the City of Corner Brook Act, approve the attached schedule of rates and fees to take effect January 1st, 2022. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
Be resolved that the City of Corner Brook, in accordance with the City of Corner Brook Act, approve an annual rate of interest of 10.5% to be levied on all past due taxes and accounts receivable on a monthly basis in 2022. I so move.
Seconder?
Seconded.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded?
And finally, be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook, in accordance with the City of Corner Brook Act, approve the 2022 budget with operating revenues and expenditures totaling $35,588,100. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
Okay, now I'm going to turn off this mic, Ryan.
There you go. Thank you, Councillor. And much appreciated to everyone, staff included, for their hard work on this budget. Now, before we go, this is our last scheduled public meeting before the Christmas break. I don't know if anyone would have any remarks or wishes that they'd like to pass along. We'll go around the room.
Best wishes to everyone in our community, and it's been a pleasure to serve here and to work with the staff here at I thank you, each and every one of you and your staff for the work that you do for us. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Mr. Baker.
Yeah, likewise, Mr. Mayor, thank you to staff that work hard every day for the residents of Corner Brook and to the residents of the city. Thank you for putting your trust in me for the next 4 years. And also, I want to take the opportunity to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, season's greetings, much happiness, health, prosperity, and wellness to each and every one of you in 2022.
Thank you. Councilor Keeping.
I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and wish everybody good things for 2022. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Councilor Pender.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to echo the same thoughts, greetings of the season. Thank our staff and all our frontline employees who work every day on our behalf and behalf of residents. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Christmas, and hopefully in 2022 better things will come forward as we get rid of this pandemic and get back to some sort of normal life. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Griffin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to wish our staff and your families and all our my council friends and your family very Merry Christmas. I think we should think about those that are shut in and can't get home for Christmas. You know, might be an idea to check in on them or pay them a visit. This is going to be a different Christmas for me, and I just want to finish by that, remind everybody if you have someone special in your lives, take the time to give them a hug, because you don't know what the future will bring. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. And Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much. I guess from my family to your family, I'd like to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. I'd also like to say to staff and thank you for all you do. Sometimes it may come across that we're not quite in sync with you or we don't appreciate what you do, but all I can say is from my heart to your hearts over there, I certainly appreciate all the work that you do and all the help that you give us. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the residents for putting your faith in me for the next 4 years, and I thank you very, very much for that. So from my family to yours, Merry Christmas, stay safe, don't drink and drive, and see you all in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, I want to wish Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone here around the council chamber. Absolutely, you got to enjoy it and enjoy the people that make it special. So again, thank you all very much for your continued support, and I look forward to a prosperous 2022. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Mayor.